Now, Plumer acknowledges that there are responses that have been given to each of these arguments. He addresses one particular theory of Christ that says that Christ progressed from being able not to sin to being not able to sin. In other words, as he grew, he became impeccable. And he says this, "He who can sin may surely err. Sin is the worst form of evincing fallibility." In other words, these are people who say he was infallible, yet he could sin. And Plumer says, how is this even logically possible? Sin is a failure. Sin indicates fallibility. So putting these two things together is impossible. And then he deals with those who might think that if Christ wasn't given to temptation, he could not sympathize with man. He couldn't sympathize with us. Plumer again writes, "In no way does it aid one in pitying or relieving the vile to be like them vile. It is not necessary ever to have had the least liability to sin in order to compassionate the sinner." You see, in other words, he's arguing against the premise Jesus Christ did not have to be able to sin in order to sympathize with those of us who not only are able to sin, but are caught in sin. See, the logic would have to extend even further, wouldn't it? In order for Jesus Christ to sympathize with us, perhaps some might argue he would have to sin. He'd have to know what it is to fall into wickedness, to fall into temptation. And we know that not to be the case. He's able to sympathize with our weaknesses. Yet not only was he without sin, but he was without the very possibility of sin.